Hey, welcome to Beat Everyone. I'm Ben Flanagan with AL.com, and we are here, people. Alabama and Georgia kickoff on Saturday, 6:45 p.m. Central Time, God's time zone, they say. A lot to cover here. Biggest game of the year and all that. We all know it. We've been talking about it ad nauseum since the offseason. We can't think of a better person to help us sort through all this. We're here with the film guy himself, Brooks Austin, Director of Recruiting on SI Network, lead editor for Bulldogs on SI. Brooks, welcome, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, no doubt. Glad to be back here with you guys. I think there are three fan bases that have opened their arms most to me in college football. Obviously, Georgia, Tennessee being another one, and Alabama. And I think the reason being, I think those three fan bases are the most football curious fan bases that we have, right? They're not these types of fans that when the team wins or loses, they just go, oh, great, or dang, we stink. They want to know why. And I think that's what I do really, really well. So, man, I'm always excited and jumping at the bit to get on any type of Alabama content, most notably AL.com. I mean, my gosh.
Man, it's that mutual national championship respect. You know how it is, right? I mean,
Yeah.
once Georgia got it going, they love Kirby Smart in Alabama, obviously for all that he did. But no, that's great to hear, Brooks. I mean, this one, like I said, was circled on everybody's calendar going into the season. Bama's 2-1 now. Georgia's undefeated, and there are still playoff implications with this game. We know what Alabama Georgia has meant the last decade plus, really, but do you think that this game we're about to see on Saturday still has that same gravity that we're used to with these teams?
It feels like that to me. I know it wasn't a great start to the season for Alabama, but I still feel that they are a 10-2able, 11-1able football team. They have all of the talent in the world. They still have the same roster, and now we see the quarterback playing at the rate that he is, and the offensive firepower, and the defense playing a lot more disguised coverage and starting to add things. And Wama getting into year two. I'm starting to see the reasons why I picked Alabama to win the national championship this year. I thought going into this year on paper, they were a relatively flawless roster because I projected what I saw in Ty Simpson. I went back and watched my interview with you guys from SEC Media Day and talked about how this passing offense was going to be dynamic again, how this Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer offense was going to be passingly explosive again. Like how this dude is a 4,000-yard passing offense. Just go ahead and pick and stick it every single year, except for the year he was with Jalen Milroe. It's all showing signs. It's just that one inexplicable thing on the road at Florida State. It's like same thing last year. It's like very inexplicable things like when you go on the road. So I guess there's reason to be concerned there, but I see all the things on paper and on tape that it's like, yes, it's still Alabama. Like this is still blue chip versus blue chip. This is still firepower versus firepower, playoff caliber on the line type of matchup. Yes, I feel that way.
Well, the quarterbacks under Kalen DeBoer, obviously, and we've seen under Kirby Smart too, because he's had great quarterbacks. They're obviously a huge story in this game. Both first-year full-time starters. We know that Gunnar Stockton played real meaningful football late into the 2025 season with Carson Beck out with injury, but he really is the guy now. He showed a lot of guts in Knoxville a couple Saturdays ago. Seems to get better by the week. Ty Simpson has been one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the country, albeit against Louisiana Monroe and Wisconsin, as we say over and over. It's been a common refrain here. But head-to-head, which team do you think has the leg up when it comes to quarterback?
Well, the way Alabama is playing right now, I know it's UL Monroe and I know it's Wisconsin, but when I saw that box score on Sunday, I didn't have the opportunity to go back and look at the tape until this week when we started preparing everybody for this football game. I expected to see Wisconsin selling their soul to stop the run. Like I expected to look on the film and see Wisconsin overcommitting to stopping the run. That wasn't the case. I thought they played it relatively balanced and you still shredded them for 385 yards or whatever it was. And it was really, really explosively efficient. It wasn't just he's playing efficient football. No, Ty Simpson's playing efficient football 30 yards down the field right now. Like that's terrifying for anybody, right? And I see, like I kind of predicted, I see this Washington offense coming back into form, right? All of the deep passing concepts that DeBoer and Grubb are really, really efficiently great at. Like they're getting back to that. They're ripping chunk plays again, and the weaponry that he has, right? Everybody knows about Ryan Williams, and Bama fans know about Jeremy Bernard and Isaiah Horton, but I don't think the national audience does. I don't think the national perspective of college football talking heads know how good Jeremy Bernard is. I don't think they know how much he's being used right now and the way he's being used and the things that they're doing with him to kind of hide the fact that they don't have Jam Miller yet, which they're getting back this week, we expect. I don't know if he's going to be 100% himself. I'm sure you guys know more about that. But yeah, there's no doubt Ty Simpson's playing great football. Gunnar Stockton's playing the football I expected him to do. If you make this about can he hit deep shot one-on-one opportunities, can he stand in the face of pressure and be a tough football player, like, buddy, he's going to check that box every single time. My question is, and still is, can like he layer football into zone coverages? Can he handle disguise coverages? Can he handle like winning from within the pocket? If you allow this guy to escape pockets and win with his legs and basically compete to win, he is going to out-compete you. There's no doubt about that. I wonder if he can finesse his way to a win, but no one's made him do that yet. And I don't even know if Womack's going to do it to him this weekend. Womack still likes to be, he's doing a lot more disguise stuff, but he still likes to be a cover one robber football team and sending 5-man pressures on third and mediums. And I like Gunnar Stockton in those situations.
Yeah, Stockton, just a competitor, scary in close game situations, to say the least. But sticking with Simpson for a second, just curious what you've seen on film from him. Other than the caliber of defense, what changed for Ty Simpson? Like, was it the protection? Was it his reads? Like, why has Ty Simpson looked so much better in the pocket? And why do you, because you've said this, why do you think putting pressure on him could be the key for Georgia?
So, like, first of all, I think the pressure is going to be a key to stopping any quarterback. And I think it's a key for Georgia in this game because they have an advantage. Like, I think Chris Cole's speed rush against Caden Proctor right now is a significant advantage in this football game. No different than I think Alabama has an advantage at one of the tackle spots too, because Quay Rousseau and LT Overton versus whoever Georgia puts at right tackle is an advantage. But like, you're asking me what changed for Ty Simpson, how he was covered, to be honest with you. Like, I watched the film and I saw a football player at Florida State that performed admirably. Like, I thought the quarterback played really, really well against Alabama. In fact, I saw one of these clips go viral of everyone criticizing him flushing out of a pocket. That, you know, it's clean, he's running out of a pocket. No, if you watch that, he's playing football. He's playing the quarterback position, and I'll walk you through it right now. All right, they have a cover 3 called beater, right? It's a 2-man concept. They have Ryan Williams on a basically a comeback for modern terms, right? And a deep over from Jeremy Bernard. That's it. And then they got a flare from the back, but he's very, very late in the progression. Okay. So it's a 2-man read called to beat cover 3. The only thing that can stop it is if one of the underneath defenders recognizes what's happening. And that's exactly what happened. The corner starts to sink up underneath Ryan. The middle of the field safety has already closed off the deep over. And this happens instantly within like a second and a half of the snap. And Ty Simpson's eyes are in the right spot. He sees the corner bail up underneath the comeback and realizes, oh, the play's dead. The play's dead immediately. I better go compete right now. So what's he do? He picks up 9 yards. Like, and people say he flushed from a clean pocket. No, he didn't. He's seeing football happen right in front of him. He's playing ahead of time. He's playing ahead of schedule. I did see one later where he kind of, got out of a pocket quickly and then settled and got rid of a football. Well, guys, his left tackle's getting spun like a top. I don't know if y'all are watching this against speed rushers. Caden Proctor, for the 3rd year in a row, and I hate to be this harsh, but it's 3 years in a row we've been talking about this. He's playing overweight. There's no doubt about it. Like, he's 6'6". He's playing at probably 375. He might be a freak. He might be a unicorn. But the best in the world that play left tackle at 6'6" on Sunday, they're choosing to do so at 335 pounds. And there's a reason. It's because the guys that are rushing us rush really, really quickly. And I saw Ty Simpson realize very early on in the football game, my left tackle's getting beat quickly. So when he starts running upfield out of his stance, it's because he's probably getting beat. I better move now. And I saw a quarterback realizing that quickly, not a quarterback panicking pockets. Sorry, that was a long tangent.
Hey, man, you don't have to convince us why we call you the film guy, okay? I mean, that's unbelievable. Impressive. And you said that Caden Proctor, Georgia Edge matchup is going to feed families, I believe. on your show, and that's the one that you're keying in on. And I kind of want to stay there for just a second. At SEC Media Days, we talked about where the battle is always ultimately won, right? And again, as a film guy, you know better than anybody that that's up front. It's in the trenches. Who plays the more physical brand of football and might have the edge where it really matters?
So I don't want to measure physicality. Let's just measure success, right? Who's running the football at will, and who's out here able to run the football? Who's out here stopping the run? The answer is Georgia through 3 games, right? Through 3 games, Georgia has gone to Tennessee and rushed for over 200 yards. They took 96 snaps in that football game, guys. On the road in Neyland Stadium, they put up 96 offensive snaps. How do you do that? You do that running the football at will. They had a scoring drive to open up the second half on the road in front of 103,000, down 7, where they scored on 13 plays and ran the ball on 12 of them. So I don't want to do who's more physical, who's the tougher football team, who's more successful, who has been out here against loaded boxes, against committed defenses, saying, we're about to run the rock right at you. And it's been Georgia offensively. They've been able to get it done. And defensively, man, like, both of these teams are really, really good in the box. Like, they're really, really stout up front. Alabama is getting their most stout run defender presumably back. Like, I know Tim Keenan's tough as hell. Yeah, he's a tough football player. That is Montgomery, Alabama. That is as like Birmingham, Alabama. That is as tough football players get. But we did have tightrope surgery 30 days ago. And Tua wasn't himself 27 days in. Brock Bowers wasn't himself 20 days in from this very same surgery. So I expect him to play, but I don't know if he's going to be Tim Keenan. And when Tim Keenan is Tim Keenan, that's one of the best nose tackles in college football. I just don't know if he's going to be himself again, but at least being back is a major difference for this defense.
Great point. I mean, that's been a sort of under discussed part of Alabama's season so far. It's like Jam Miller's coming back, but like you said earlier, which Jam Miller is it going to be? Tim Keenan's coming back for this game. Which Tim Keenan? We wondered that about Deontay Lawson, obviously coming off of an ACL coming into the season, and people thought that he didn't quite look the same, like he didn't quite have the same burst. He's improved as the weeks have gone on. Yeah, for sure. So, but sticking with Kane Womack's defense, that was a bright spot in Kalen DeBoer's first season last year, albeit with some struggles, obviously, notably in the losses that they had. But they brought back and added a lot of talent in 2025. They obviously shut down Louisiana Monroe and Wisconsin, but they give up 31 points to Florida State. Getting off the field when it matters is huge for any team in any game. But Florida State went 5 of 12 on third down against Alabama, 2 of 2 on fourth down. Wisconsin was 6 of 11 on third down, and they converted their only fourth down attempt. So, Brooks, can Alabama get a stop when they need it the most?
I really wish, and I don't know if Kane listens to this show, but I wish I could just talk to him and say, hey, man, like, you're coaching Alabama. We don't have to get super, like, freaky. Like, we don't have to do all this crazy stuff. We don't have to simulate pressure. We don't have to bring extra bodies to the box. Like, we don't have to do these things. You have blue chip football players, man. Rush 4, play zone, get the hell up off the field. Like, I wish he would do that more often, because it's crazy to me, man. He's like multiple, he's mixed matched. He's like, does a lot of great stuff on first and second down and earns the right to be in 3rd and 9. Like, calls his way into 3rd and 9. And then he's like, 5-man pressure, man to man. Vandy goes 12 of 19 on 3rd down against you last year. I don't know how many of them were, but like, I'd say 9 of those 12 were him the coordinator just rubbing man-to-man coverage. And it's not just you guys, man. Like, it's not just Kane Womack. I watched Tim Banks do this like 2 weeks ago against Georgia. Like, just died a slow and or rather quick and explosive death on 3rd down because he just wanted to play man-to-man coverage and pressure the box. Like, you got there, just play more zone. I even feel this way about his run defense. Like, dude, you have James Smith. You have like a 5-star defensive tackle who's a great football player. Like, just line him up in a 3-tech, line the other guy up in a nose, and like dominate the guards. You don't have to walk the linebackers up in A-gap to get all fancy and creative. Like, you're Bama. Just line up and play ball. You'll probably get off the field a lot more often. That's my opinion. That's just the way I feel about it.
Kane Womack, friend of the show, so I'm sure that this is going to be relayed to him one way or the other, even if he has to skip it this week. So before the season, We asked you and we asked several other people if you consider Alabama a national title contender this year. And you already alluded to this earlier, right? That you thought that they were going to win the national championship and they could still potentially be 11-1, 10-2, depending on how things go this weekend. Everybody said yes about them being a national contender. Then Florida State happened, obviously. Suddenly there's panic in Tuscaloosa. Alabama's margin of error just collapses. Is Alabama the team we thought they would be? You suggested that we're seeing signs of that. Or did they just get caught by a much improved Florida State? Or I wonder, from your perspective, is there something on the tape that we didn't expect that reared its head once they finally hit the field in Tallahassee?
I mean, there was just still some like misalignment stuff against Wisconsin. Wisconsin's game plan offensively was pretty like simple. It was the moment we get any type of positive play, we're going to get right back on the football lineup quickly. Hopefully, we catch them in a misalignment and then smack them with another explosive. They were just doing it with Wisconsin football players against Alabama. So even though they caught Alabama in some misalignments, even though they caught Alabama with defensive linemen standing up looking at the sideline as the ball snapped, like they just didn't have good enough players to actually maximize that. You asked me, is Alabama a national title contender? I think we're going to, and I hate to punt the question, we're going to find out this weekend with the road splits, right? Like they're great at home. They're really good at home under Kalen DeBoer. They're hard to beat. They're going to be hard to beat no matter what. But like when you go on the road, are you the same football team? That's a big question. And look, this is a new development for him. We stumbled into this last night on our show. Okay, looking at the home road splits for him at Washington. There wasn't any like blip on the radar, what the hell happened here type of games for him at Washington. This is brand new. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that maybe it's the SEC. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it is a real thing. And y'all understand this better than anybody. So we're going to find out this weekend. What do they look like on the road? And look, if it's a fourth quarter loss and it's a one-score game, I think that's a win. And I hate to say that because y'all want only wins. But the problem is when they come out here play flat or come out here play unprepared on the road, that's when I want to look at him and be like, are you the right guy for this job? Everything else tells me he is. The dude recruits his butt off. They call offensive play design now with a real quarterback, and they got future at the position too. So like it's gonna work. I just want to know if it's gonna work on the road.
I'm told it just means more in the SEC, Brooks. I mean, it's different down here, right?
It's
So,
louder. It's
yeah, it's
louder.
true.
It's more intense. It's just yeah, and it's
We
better, right? It's
we can
deeper.
attest to that. Better, I think, is the right word, certainly. And
Yeah,
it's not that they want wins; it's that at this point they need wins, right? If they want
correct,
what's in front of them still. So,
correct.
how about what's on the line for the coaches? If Alabama wins, DeBoer continues to silence his critics, who pretty much put him on the hot seat after Week 1, and Alabama's right back in the playoff picture. If they lose, the window isn't shut, but it's close. And suddenly, this date with Vanderbilt becomes critical, something we never thought we would ever say. What are the stakes for Kalen DeBoer on Saturday?
Look, I'm not. I think it's going to work. I really do. I thought it was going to be a tough spot for anybody to replace the greatest of all time. And I said it on your show. It wasn't just that he was the greatest coach of all time. It's that Nick Saban was the greatest disciplinarian to ever walk the planet in regards to coaching football. So it's really hard to hold people to any type of standard when we just walked out, the toughest standard of all time just walked out the building. So I think you're getting back to some of those things. And I'm so bullish on the offense that I think it's going to be okay in the long term anyways. That being said, at some point, Glenn Schumann is going to take a head football coaching job. At some point, it's going to happen. And I think he's waiting out that one. Like he's turned down real opportunities like 4 or 5 years in a row, has Glenn Schumann. And if there's any job that I think he looks at and the grass might be greener, it's the head coaching job at Tuscaloosa. And I think you guys would hire him in a heartbeat if that job ever came open. The problem is we got a lot of jobs coming open. So what happens if Glenn Schumann, like for example, if Shane Beamer says, you know what, Lenora Sellers is leaving, I'm going to take the Virginia Tech job. And then Glenn Schumann takes the South Carolina job, he might not be hireable for you if DeBoer ends up going to the NFL or if DeBoer goes. You see what I'm saying? Like the dominoes start falling in the coaching world, and I think the Schumann domino might fall pretty quickly, relatively soon. I think it would be ignorant to continue to operate as if Glenn Schumann is just going to stay at Georgia forever. I don't think that's going to be the case.
Well, and what about Kirby Smart? I mean, Alabama fans obviously like to gloat about the one-sided record against Georgia. Obviously, most of that happening during the Nick Saban era, but Kirby got them when it really mattered in a national title game when they seemingly took over as the best program in the country. And I think they still have the argument for that right now, a couple of national titles in very recent years. But, Alabama beat them that season as well. They've beaten them twice since, including the first time he faced Kalen DeBoer last year. Does this game have any particular significance for Kirby when it comes to Alabama? Like, if they lose, does he officially have an Alabama problem, or is that something that Georgia fans have felt long before whatever happens on Saturday?
So they've definitely felt that for a long time. Like our producer brought a stat yesterday. It was like, hey, 1st to 30 in this matchup has been 23-0 in this matchup. So I went back and looked at the last 10 examples of that. 9 of them are just Alabama just bringing out the belt, just smacking Georgia like 38-10. So, yeah, there's been a real heavy lean in your direction here. You asked if there's like pressure here. Kirby Smart, and I don't know if this is just Georgia, and it may be just them. I don't see anybody else cooking their offensive coordinator like this fan base does constantly. He's got a scapegoat no matter what, dude. Like, they gave up 41 points on the road to Tennessee and just got obliterated. The quarterback from the opposing team started 14 of 14 for 223. Like, just absolutely cooking. And you know who Georgia fans were on TikTok yelling at? Mike Bobo. They have a constant whipping child over here in Athens. And so, no, like, it's never going to be on Kirby. Not as long as Mike's here. And it shouldn't be, by the way. Like Kirby Smart's the best football coach in college football for my money. I don't know how anybody else feels about that, but for my money, that's the guy. So, like, yeah, win, lose, or draw, he gonna win. He gonna win some games. He gonna lose some games, but he always gonna be 10-2. Like, that's what I always feel about this football program, as long as he is at the helm of it in the world of this college football state that we have. So, yeah, it ain't gonna be fans yelling at Kirby. It's gonna be fans yelling at Mike, no matter what happens. Period. Point blank.
100%. I mean, look, Kirby's legacy is set no matter what. If he retired today, he'd be one of the best coaches, certainly in the modern college football era, but he's got a long way to go. He's probably going to win more championships. So, last thing here, anybody who watches your show, they saw your prediction for this game. Brooks, you actually like Alabama close here. Why?
Yeah. Well, the reason, the recipe for success for Alabama is Ty Simpson coming over here and throwing for 380 yards. Like, I don't think you're going to be balanced on Saturday night. I really don't. Your inability to run the football, I don't think magically shows up Saturday, where Alabama comes to Athens and rushes for 185, 220 yards. Like, I don't think that happens. So if you're going to win this football game, it's going to be because you have the three, like, trilogy of a wide receiver unit that should scare anybody and will scare everybody. And you come in here and you throw for explosive natures and win the football game. But that prediction was made 18 months ago, dude. That prediction was made a long time ago. It's the same reason I picked Alabama to win the football game last year when Georgia came there. It's the same reason I'm picking it here. You have to beat Alabama in the regular season for me to come on here and say that you're going to do it. Like, I say the same thing about Tennessee with Georgia, by the way. I say the same exact thing. Until Tennessee and Josh Heupel beat Kirby Smart, I'm picking Kirby Smart. Until Kirby Smart and Georgia beat that team in crimson in the regular season, I'll be picking Alabama. That's just the way it is. And I'm prepared to be wrong. I am. I'm 100% prepared to be wrong. But that's just the way I ride with these types of predictions.
He is very obviously the film guy. Go watch and subscribe to the Film Guy Network on YouTube. He's director of recruiting on the On SI Network, lead editor of Bulldogs on SI. Brooks Austin, you're the man. Thank you so much for the time.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you.